All right, let's talk about a major turning point we've reached in technology. You see, by 2026, the era of just pure AI hype, it's officially over. The focus is shifting big time from what's dazzling to what's actually profitable. And that's what we're here to explore, this silent revolution. Yeah, the market just isn't impressed anymore by an AI that can whip up a cool avatar or write a funny poem. As this quote says, that wow factor has a pretty clear expiration date. I mean, those flashy tricks were fun for a while, but the novelty has worn off, and businesses are getting really serious now. And it all boils down to this one question. This is the single most important thing that investors, boards, and CEOs are asking about any AI initiative. It's that simple. Where is the return on investment? If there isn't a crystal clear answer to that, well, the project's probably dead in the water. So here's the crucial point. We're moving away from what I call shiny object syndrome, and we're entering the era of the profit engine. This is the boring, almost invisible AI that works behind the scenes, quietly adding millions to the bottom line while everyone else is still distracted by the hype.
So to really get where we're going, we first have to look back at the biggest mistake companies were making. They were all chasing this myth of cool AI. Okay, so here's a really critical distinction. On the left, you've got this tangled mess. That's what most companies invested in, point solutions. AI that solves one tiny, visible problem but actually makes everything else more complicated. But the winners of 2026, they're focused on the right side, workflow intelligence, using AI to just eliminate friction and streamline the whole process.
This brings us to a really simple but super powerful way to think about this: the tool versus toy test. As the quote says, if your AI isn't cutting your costs or speeding up your sales, it's not a tool, it's a toy. A fun toy, maybe even an impressive one, but a toy nonetheless. So, okay, what's actually passing this test with flying colors? Let's get into the real-world examples of boring AI that are delivering massive, undeniable value as we speak. We're going to call these the unsexy titans of 2026. First up is a true behind-the-scenes hero, the supply chain shadow. Its whole game is predictive operations, and its job is to take one of the most complex parts of any business, the supply chain, and make it radically more efficient and, well, predictable. Think about a tool like GMDH Streamline. It doesn't look flashy, right? But its accuracy is absolutely lethal. As you can see here, it's constantly crunching this flood of data, everything from global weather patterns and shipping strikes to even local sentiment, all to predict exactly what a retailer needs to have in stock, months in advance. And the ROI here, it's so clear. This predictive power literally turns dead stock, that unsold inventory just gathering dust in a warehouse, back into liquid cash. And in an economy where capital is expensive, this kind of efficiency isn't just a nice little advantage, it's absolutely essential for growth. All right, next up, Titan number 2, the frictionless lawyer. This AI is all about automated compliance, and with this huge wave of new AI regulations, this isn't just a convenience anymore. It's a straight-up survival tool. Look, with the 2026 Global AI Acts now in effect, compliance is mandatory. So tools like Spellbook and Ironclad are becoming the new gatekeepers. They automate contract reviews, they assess risk in seconds, they basically take a mountain of complex legal paperwork and turn it into a clear, compliant result, which dramatically cuts down on all that legal grunt work. And the impact is, just look at this chart. It's staggering. We're seeing legal lead times get slashed from an average of 20 days all the way down to just 20 minutes. That's not just a small improvement, that's a fundamental change in the speed of business. It creates a competitive edge that is nearly impossible for anyone to match manually. And our final titan, this one sits right at the very heart of any company, the revenue architect. This is all about RevOps intelligence, and it is completely changing how companies sell and how they grow. We've moved so far beyond your basic CRM system. Revenue operations intelligence platforms like Gong and Artisan don't just record sales calls, they analyze them, as you see here. They can actually predict which deals are going to close based on the buyer's tone of voice, even their micro-expressions. This allows for automated, incredibly precise follow-ups, which effectively lets you scale your entire sales department without hiring a single new person. Okay, so you've seen what these profit engines can do. But how do you actually build one? Let's walk through the execution blueprint. And the key here is to not start with a list of AI tools. You start by looking at your own internal problems. It's actually a pretty simple three-step process. First, find your bottlenecks. Where are your most expensive employees getting bogged down in that tedious copy-paste or check-and-verify work? That's your starting point. Second, you gotta go vertical. Don't use a generic one-size-fits-all tool. Find an AI that was built specifically for your niche. That's where the real power is. And finally, you have to live by the 6-month rule. If a tool doesn't show you a clear ROI within 180 days, you cut it loose. No exceptions. When you put all this together, it really leads to one core takeaway. The real value and the true winners in this new game, they're not in the spotlight. They're found in the quiet corners of the business world. The most profitable AI in 2026 is the one you never see or hear about. It's this invisible engine just working tirelessly at 3 in the morning, auditing your finances, optimizing your shipping routes, and teeing up your next big deal. It just works. So if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this new mantra. Stop chasing what's cool. Start chasing what's capable. That right there is the mindset that is separating the winners from everybody else.
Because in this new era, our whole definition of beauty in technology has changed. It's not about a sleek interface or some mind-bending demo anymore. The most beautiful thing about technology today is the profit margin it leaves behind.